Let's see if this works. Take two, take two. Let's see if we could make this happen. Man, again, it's giving me problems.
We should be live.
Alright, I'm just going to have to... Alright, it says we are live.
As we are live.
But it's not allowing me to interact with the stream, which is really annoying because I wanted to be able to interact with the people. Oh, Mike Miller, I do see you. I can interact with the people. Fantastic. All right, Mike, can you hear me? All right, fantastic. So, I have been gone for a long time off of YouTube, and I've been on a long personal journey. I had announced about 12 to 15 months ago that I was reached the point in my life where I wanted to make some changes, and sure enough, I've been able to do that. So today was a big day for me, a big day for everything I'm trying to do as part of the culture war. And I figured I would break my long hiatus, talk a little bit about where I've been, and the work I'm doing now, which I really think is primed to make a big difference in the world. I've been working with families one-on-one, and it's all really good stuff. So anyway, about 12 months ago, I pretty much stopped streaming on YouTube, and I started my homeschool business, Classical Learner. Some of you followed some of the work I did posting videos for that, and that's been a real joy. Well, I guess the reason, wow, it has been a while. He's lost the ability to speak, people. I guess the reason I went away is I felt like coming on here every day and talking about what I was seeing in the culture world, in the culture war, wasn't making the difference that I thought I could make. That in order to make a big difference, you have to reach people on the individual level. Because we all want to see changes, but the most impactful changes start one-to-one. See, first it's about improving yourself. How can I better myself? Then how can you be a better person for the people around you, which includes your wife and your family? Can you build community and eventually start a business? Mike's having buffering issues. Could be my computer. It's been a long time since I did this. I don't know if the software is up to date, quite frankly. But anyway, so I've gone on my personal journey, and I launched my business, Classical Learner. I'm not. It's pretty smooth. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. And I've been able to work one-on-one with families. And I've done a lot of things. At one point, I was making personal lesson plans. So families that homeschool, basically, they were booking with me. I was sitting down talking about what their goals were for their children in pretty great detail. And then I would make these very comprehensive, personalized lesson plans that families would work with their children. And the idea was to completely restructure the way we as parents view education. Because all of us come up through this system, and from the time we're little, well, think about not just education, but really everything. From the time we're little, we're put in front of a screen, and we watch these shows, and these shows depict a certain culture, right? And usually that culture is not good. It's immoral, it's backwards, it's pretty much the inverse of reality. And then most children, by the time they're 3 years old, Jerusha, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Most children, by the time they're 3 years old, are put into preschool. And from there, as my dog rips some paper, I got a dog. in that time. Mwah. Um, and in preschool, that's really where the indoctrination begins. So if we're going to fight a culture war, the way we have to do that is starting there. I mean, if you think about what you see from your typical conservative pundit or your typical person you see on TV, right, who are really fighting the good fight, well, are they fighting the good fight? Because what you'll see, and this is even your supposedly awake truthers, right? What you'll see is these people that point out a lot of the problems in the world. They'll say, oh my God, do you see this? Look at Bill Gates, look at what he's doing. Socialism, communism, they're coming for us. And really what they're doing is they're training people. They're training their listeners who have gone through what I consider the first stage of awakening. And that's the stage where you realize that most of what you've learned is a lie. So they're taking their listeners that are in this first stage of awakening, and they're giving them an outlet. Say, okay, well, you follow me, and we're going to scream about everything that's wrong in the world. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Is this really America? But what they don't do is show you how to fight. And once you get deeper down the road of your awakening, you realize that complaining is nice, pointing out hypocrisy is nice. I could point out hypocrisy all day. I did it on the internet. That was my thing. I pointed out hypocrisy for years. Can you believe the left? Well, yes, I can believe the left. I mean, it's tantamount to imagine there's a girl you were friends with, and she gets into a relationship with a real dirtbag, and he comes home drunk, smelling like another girl's perfume, and anytime she questions him, he beats on her. And then she comes to you and says, what should I do? You say, well, obviously what you should do is leave this relationship. Well, these pundits, what they do is they keep you in that relationship. They don't tell you to leave. They tell you to really wave your finger at him and tell him, you stop sleeping with other women and you don't beat me. So really, if you want to fight back, what's the first thing you need to do? Right? There's a few pillars of control that allow these people to control our lives. I've pointed these out many times. There's Hollywood, absolutely toxic. There's the corporate media, which their sole purpose is to seed a fictitious reality in your mind. And imagine how impactful that is on all of these young people that have been sitting home for months and months and months with coronavirus, and they just see these people, because of the coronavirus scare tactics, and they see these people, these authorities, seeding this fictitious reality that if they go near people, they might get sick, that people themselves are the virus, that you can't hug, that you can't have human interaction. And it's even worse to see this from truthers. They'll do the opposite. It's, oh my God, there's Bill Gates, yada, yada, yada. You get it. There's the social media companies, which generally censor anyone that speaks truth. And then there's the education system. And if we are going to be serious about improving the world, improving culture, that is where we start. If these pundits on television, if they cared about winning the culture war, as they say, basically that would be objective number one, right? You get like the right of politics. You get the political right, the conservatives, standing up for traditional American values. By what? By allowing our children to be brainwashed? By allowing them to go into government schools from the time they're 3 years old? By telling them that their teachers that we know are deeply indoctrinated into a satanic ideology, quite frankly. I mean, you want to talk about the practice of abortion alone, a satanic ideology. And you're telling them that these people are authorities and that you should allow these teachers, these authorities to shape the worldview of children. So to win, we have to start at home. And we can all do that by marrying and having big families. And then what are you going to do with that family? And for me, I homeschool myself and I promote homeschooling. And that's what I've been doing for the last year. And this week, or the last few weeks, I actually released the first in what is a new children's book series, which is what prompted me to do this stream. And well, I'll talk to you more about my thoughts on everything, but I did want to play for you a reading of that book and then why it's so significant and why this is what we need if we're going to ultimately build a better America, build a better nation, because it is about culture. Everything's culture. Politics don't even matter. So without further ado, let's go window capture. That's me. Okay. All right, and this is Good Bears Always Tell the Truth.
Here's a story all bears know, from head to heart to soul to toe. From den to home, any location, it will take you to your destination. Investigate it, little sleuth. Good bears always tell the truth. Friends were playing at the park, listen to the doggies bark. Little Bear could see them all, some short, some medium, and him, he's tall. Chirping birds and scheming weasels, rats, skunks, and six-legged beetles. Slimy Snake had an idea the animals waited to hear. He offered candy, apples, lollipops, forbidden sweets, he didn't stop. Everything you could imagine, a bite away, let's make it happen. They seemed to find the treasure chest. Snake said, there is just one catch. I stole them from a guy I knew. Don't worry, he doesn't have a clue. A sneaky thing you have to try. Tell just one tiny lie. Lizard jumped to take a taste. Smiles on Scorpion's face. Little Bear knew just what to do. What would you do if it were you? Little Bear left in a poof. Big Bear says, to tell the truth. Big Bear asked, how was the park? I told you you could stay till dark. Little Bear explained why he left. The situation was a mess. Big Bear said, I'm proud of you. Good bears always tell the truth. The next day, Snake had bad news. The guy he knew asked about the food. Snake would tell another lie, but he needed the animals on his side. He called them over one by one. He offered each something fun. Tell my story, back my rants. I will give you fancy pants. Spider was quick to try them on. It's like Snake had a magic wand. Little Bear knew what to do. He was gone in just a poof. Big Bear asked, how was the park? I told you, you could stay till dark. Little Bear explained why he left. The situation was a mess. Big Bear said, I'm proud of you. Good bears always tell the truth. The next day, the guy Snake knew said he knows who didn't tell the truth. He identified them in just a glance. They all had on fancy pants. The animals were all in trouble. Lies can be a lot to juggle. He said, animals, do as I do, otherwise I will tell on you. Ferret, pig, piranha cried. Vulture could no longer fly. Possum, raccoon, and mouse couldn't scurry. But Little Bear did not worry. Big Bear asked, how was the park? I see that you stayed till dark. Little Bear told an amazing story. Big Bear basked in all the glory. Big Bear was proud his little sleuth discovered why good bears always tell the truth.
All right. Good bears always tell the truth. So that is a children's book and the start of my new Cubs to Bears series that I released this month. And today was a big day because Owen Benjamin was kind enough to play that video on his stream. Slap Weasel, how you doing? And this is something I'm very passionate about because we, as a people, need to get past the point in which we complain and get to the point where we actively, I don't even like the term fight the culture war anymore. We actively build the culture that we want our children to grow up in. And there's so many different ways we can do that. Now, right now, I'm doing that with teaching homeschooling, which I enjoy talking homeschooling with so many amazing parents I've met. And now I'm doing it with children's books. I'll be releasing a book next month, which is designed using animals to teach children about the Second Amendment and why their gun rights are so important. And as you start to do that, as you actually start to create in this way, you see why it's so important to build a culture for our children. Talk about a book about guns, right? Well, all of the messaging children receive on the television is that guns are bad and guns hurt people. All of the messaging that children receive in school is that only the authorities should have guns. Children need messaging that shows why guns are good. Children need messaging that clearly shows the nature of evil, which Good Bears Always Tell the Truth is designed to do. And if we start to build this way, children's books, television shows, music, right? Think about the music that we listen to in our culture that children grow up listening to. The messaging that is propagated by these mega corporations, by the institution of music is, you see why so many young people, especially those without fathers, act in the way that they do. That they promote drugs, they promote violence, they promote a promiscuous lifestyle. They tell young women that liberation is $200,000 in college debt and getting drunk until you're 25 years old, having sex with as many men as you can. But liberation is the opposite of that. My wife is liberated. My wife is a mother. She's taken care of. She's secure. She's a queen. And it's really, that's how we fight. We build. And I wanted to do a stream today to just introduce Cubs to Bears to the FFR News community, talk a little bit about what I've been up to. I mean, I've been up to a ton. I wrote a whole nother book, by the way. I wrote a 130-page book about how to beat pharma. And I spoke with an insurance company about releasing it. I had them review it because they could sue me for it. And they said that basically I'd have to have a lawyer read it over to make sure that, pharma couldn't just bury me because that's what they do, the pricks. So I'm to the point with that. I put that to the back burner. And quite frankly, what I'm probably going to do is just find someone within the in the movement against Big Pharma, the medical freedom movement, and I'm probably just going to give it to them under the condition that my name's never brought up and have them fight because I see the way everyone's fighting right now, and it's it's noble. It's we're losing. We're losing. You know that because you walk outside and everyone has a mask on, and the mask is a symbol. It's a ritual. It's not about keeping people healthy. It's about keeping people in a state of submission to authority so that when they roll out the vaccinations, that people accept vaccine mandates. And then, you get the rhetoric. So people will say, well, you get the coronavirus vaccine and you're going to drop dead and 50 million people are going to die and all that's bullshit. All that's bullshit. If they wanted to kill you that way, they turn off the power. In 1 month, you'd see your neighbors eating each other. No, what they're going to do is they want to mandate the coronavirus vaccine so that they set the precedent. They're setting a precedent of mandatory vaccinations, because once they have that precedent, then they can mandate everything. They can mandate, and when I say mandate, the way they're going to do it is, if you don't have the coronavirus vaccine, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to a baseball game, whatever it might be. You can't send your children to school. But once they get that precedent set, what they'll do is then they'll say, okay, well, now we can mandate everything. And although it won't happen right away, a generation from now, it will be normalized that every adult has 75 vaccines. Right now, it's just children, so they want to get the adults. So how do you do that? Drip, drip, drip. You boil the frog. So anyway, that's just another thing I've been working on over the last year that didn't quite go the way I wanted to. I made the decision that I don't have to be the face of that, but look out for it, because when it comes, it will be good. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, I've been gone for a while. I'd be happy to give you my thoughts on everything that's been going on in this world. I hope that the Grabblers don't have you in a state of despair. What we really need is positivity. What we really need is to build. What we really need is to create culture rather than have culture dictated to us. And so many good people are out there doing that. I mean, not the people that get propagated, but the people that you don't see. And I'll probably do a few more streams moving forward. Not all the time. Quite frankly, I don't even have the time to do it. But I just thought I'd get on tonight. It was a big day for me. Owen Benjamin was so kind to play my book reading on his stream. And, that's the type of thing. Find people that empower people and make sure you yourself empower people. Slap Weasel's in the chat and never met me. Slap Weasel's been so kind to me from the first day, fate had us collide. So, these are the people we want to be around. This is how we build. And I guess that's what I had to say. But it's been a while, and don't engage with it. Don't engage with the screen, and start at home, right? Because children that are raised right, they don't go out in the streets and riot, and children that are raised right, they know how to protect themselves, so they don't have to worry. So, all right, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll probably release some more videos that are, going forward. They might even be well thought out, unlike me going impromptu right now. But either way, I was very excited for the release of Cubs to Bears. Big moment in my personal journey, and I think it's something that will be good for the world. And that's people pursue happiness. They make happiness the goal. But in order to achieve happiness, you have to find purpose, because purpose is happiness, so find your purpose. And God bless you. Thank you, guys.